Sorry. Welcome to the Friday Arse. I'll just explain why I've come on laughing and why probably Ryan's laughing. We were just discussing his wedding before we came on. He's getting married in November, and we were just taking the piss. He should have his intro as his wedding song. And in where my screen, I don't think you guys can see it. On my screen, I can see your cameras at the bottom as well as where you are now. And all I could see was Ryan dancing to this song, like doing his wedding dance to the intro music.
Dance,
so,
yeah.
Gotta practice.
That's why I'm laughing.
That's why I'm laughing too, because I'm such an idiot. Like, it's hilarious though. Hey, gotta practice sometime.
You got to, mate. You got to. Well, anyway, like I say, we'll get to it. Welcome again to the Friday Arse. Thank you for joining us, guys. Cory, as always, thank you for joining, mate. And
No worries, mate.
Ryan, again, thanks for joining. If you was on and show us last week, these two had a great discussion, a debate. It was amazing. I recommend it for last week. I don't know if it's going to happen this week. Probably not.
No, I think we'll probably be on the same page this week. Should be, unless he thinks we're going to beat Man City, then we got a problem again.
Well, you never know. We could have a nice little bit of debate.
You never know. Hey, look, if you got good points and you can convince me and everybody else that it's going to happen, then yeah, look forward to hearing it.
Let's hope we can. But yeah, we were meant to be joined by Mike Goncalves, that right? But unfortunately, he's having some personal issues. He might still join us. He might not. If not, he will be back for next week because he is a Arsenal fan, but his hometown or basically his hometown because he is Portuguese. He grew up not far from Benfica or something along them lines. I'm not too sure. He could probably explain it better than I could. So Benfica is his hometown club. So he also follows him quite regularly. So he was hoping to get him on today. Like I say, if not, we'll get him on next week, and we'll see if we can get him on next week to help us discuss what's going on, especially with the match last night. Cory, what did you think of the match last night? Did you find it entertaining? Was it boring? Let's go.
Yeah, entertaining is a strong word. It's not one I would use. It had its moments. I think I think the parts that made me jump out my seat the most are Aubameyang's misses. Some of those chances, I'm like, what the fuck? Like
that first chance must have been harder to miss.
Yeah, I was like, you're already celebrating before he's kicked it and then puts it wide. So that's my takeaway from that game was that we were better than them. I think we had the better chances. We could have killed the tie there and then, but we were wasteful whilst creating chances, but not playing amazing either. I think some of the play was a bit slow. We've seen that a lot from Arsenal. There was a point where before the sort of Smith Rowes and whatnot came into the side, we played really sort of slow, ponderous football, and it was a bit like that. Arteta shifted some players about, Smith Rowe on the left instead of Pepe, for instance, Lacazette on the bench and whatnot. The changes showed in and not in a positive way. So it's a game that we should have killed it off, despite not playing well, but we didn't. So it's sort of well poised for the second leg.
Yeah, because there wasn't really any changes to the first team, was there, from the Leeds game? Like you just said, ESR was shifted to the left and Ødegaard was shifted to the middle. I mean, that was the only real change from the Leeds game.
Well,
no, it was the same. It was the same lineup.
No, Lacazette.
Okay, yeah.
It was the same 11.
Did you fall asleep?
I did. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, I mean, I guess it worked against Leeds. But obviously, Aubameyang was in. Like who expected a hat trick from Aubameyang against Leeds? No one. So I'm not. But cool. I don't blame you for doing it again. But it didn't work out this time. Aubameyang probably could have had a hat trick in this game, but wasn't his night.
No. And I think obviously playing in Rome as well, for me, they looked really leggy, especially being in, we played against Leeds, we flew out to, they've had a training session in between, we've flown out to Rome, they've had a training session, and then it's like having a game. It must be tiring, after, doing all that. Traveling takes it out of you.
Yeah, definitely.
Even if I know it's only Italy, it's only a short trip, really. What is it, 4 or 5 hour trip from the UK on the plane? So it's not a long trip, but it's, tiring is, traveling is really tiring. Ryan, what did you sort of make of it? Did you see anything different to Cory, or was you pretty much the same?
No, I mean, pretty much hit the nail on the head. The only thing I will say is, to me, watching them play, it was as if the team thought they were up 3-4-0 the entire game. They just played like we had a 3-goal lead. They were just very lackadaisical. If we score again, we score again. No. Game 0-0, you didn't score. And then I think when we, when we conceded that penalty and they put one in on us, then they were kind of just like, oh yeah, maybe we'll score. We'll put something together, see what happens. And Saka coming in clutch. And by the way, beautiful pre-assist from Odegaard. I thought that pass was just awesome to Cedric to get Saka for the goal. But yeah, I just didn't understand it. And I specifically a certain player who, not my cup of tea, but sorry, Gary, cover your ears. Everyone's been high on Granit Xhaka and how well he's been playing. And yeah, he's kind of impressed me a little bit with the way he's been playing. I thought he was absolutely dog shit yesterday. He just didn't play like he cared. He just kept passing backwards and sideways, but mainly just backwards. And he didn't really seem to want to progress the ball. And which was, same old tricks. Same old dogs, whatever. I actually thought Ceballos did really well, and then kind of leading into what I was saying, we did have some good points. I think Odegaard and Ceballos were our best players, and it's going to be interesting to see, especially for me, Odegaard, how he's gonna affect the game on Sunday against Man City, because I do think he's a special talent, and I think he's slowly coming into his own as an Arsenal player. And I really want to see what he could do against probably the best team in the Premier League. And yes, I agree with you, Gary. No urgency.
Yeah, obviously, I'll put that statement back up that Gary DWTT has made. Arsenal don't have any sense of urgency at any time in the game. He's right. It was one of them games. I sort of agree with you with the, we're probably already 5-0 up. That type of thing where it's just taking it easy. And I just feel like with it being a Europa match, we're away goals still do count at the minute with that. And it's like, well, surely you want to be getting in there, getting the goals, trying to push for that, because the league is going to be hard work. We've said it before on this show, so we're probably just going to repeat ourselves there. The league is going to be hard work to try and get top 4. So our only chance really to get into the Champions League for me is going to be winning the Europa. And I just didn't feel, I wasn't convinced in the sense of there wasn't really showing that. Compared to what we've said before on this show, like me and Cory have mentioned it before, the Europa League games that we used to watch, there was everything, it was entertaining, there was going for it, there was trying to score the goals. And I just didn't feel in this Europa League match, we didn't see that. Cory, do you agree?
Yeah, no, it's like what I said off air. It was a bit like what we've been used to seeing before. We introduced the youngsters. Just this lack of urgency. It feels like it's like they're running around with like weights in their boots. I feel like this Arsenal team, when it's like a must win or there's a bit of pressure, they feel more anxiety than they feel adrenaline. I feel like the more that they need to score goals is the slower and more safe that they play it, as opposed to really going into sort of 4th, 5th gear. They kind of just stall. And that's something that, I think that's a psychological thing, because if you look at other managers, other clubs, successful ones, and they need to get a goal, or they go down, or like Ryan said, it's 0-0, and it's like, look, let's go. They up the tempo. The passing gets quicker. More chances are created. They run harder. They run faster. To try and take players on. We don't seem to do that. It's just the same the whole way through. And sometimes that same gear we can win the match in. That same gear we can lose it, but it never seems to change.
Yeah, no tempo. Yeah, I get you. But to go on players like Ryan mentioned earlier with Ceballos, he did have a really good game yesterday, and I thought he was quite good against Leeds as well. And there is a lot of talk in there about him signing a contract, possibly, or Arsenal signing him for next season. The talk or the rumours around that is he's going to be around 22 million, and he's on at the minute between 50 and 60k a week. So if we did probably sign him, he'd probably be more 70, 80k a week. Would you sign him up? I don't know if we've discussed this before. Actually, I'm not entirely sure, but I discussed it. I discussed it yesterday on the Thursday night live show with Darren and Liam, and I just wanted to bring it to you guys as well. Would you sign him up, Ryan? Do you want to answer that first?
I really it depends on so much. He's not the answer. He's not the person we want to play next to Partey. To me, he's just a depth option. To me, he's the guy that's going to come off the bench and, with his long range of passing, he's willing to work on defense. He's willing to, really get into that final third with his again, long range of passing. But he's not the guy to start with Partey. So I think, when you put the 22 million up, you have to also say to yourselves, if you're at the club, you need to be like, cool, we'll buy him for 22 million, because I do think it's a fairly good buy, but we still need somebody else. I still want Basuma. I think if you tell me we're going to get Basuma, would you still sign Ceballos? Yeah, I think Ceballos is good. And also, if we could do that, I mean, again, the way, with our history, I don't see that happening. But, if we could get like a Basuma and Ceballos, maybe that means, good old Xhaka is out the door, which is news to my ears, which would be just, celebratory drinks all around. But it depends just on how this window is going to go. And especially, with the whole COVID window and how it's just constantly changing, and windows are just not as crazy. And it just looks like to me that it's either Ceballos or we're going to sign someone else, in which case I wouldn't do it.
Cory, have you got anything different to add?
Yeah, I agree with Ryan. Just we've had him here for 2 seasons now. He's been okay. There's been a couple of moments where he looks like he's a really good player. I mean, when he first came in, I think his game against Burnley, we were all like, oh wow, the way he was moving the ball around the pitch and whatnot. He sort of had really a lot of control of the game and whatnot. I don't think we've seen him be as good since. So we know there's a player in there, but in this team under this manager, I don't think here's a place that he will fulfill his potential. So I would rather, just get like a proven Premier League player for that kind of money, or like a young English player for that kind of money, who will probably sort of be around the same level than sort of Ceballos, who I don't think is actually going to improve us much if we in terms of what else we could get for that same money.
And it's crazy, right? Because the way Ceballos plays, he's not fast. So I think I don't want to completely absolve him, because I don't think I don't think he should be a starting 11 player for Arsenal, just based on where we're going and where we want to be. But I think I would like to see him more with Partey, because I do think he can make him better. Because if you see Ceballos playing with Xhaka, Ceballos is slow to begin with. And if you partner him up with an even slower immobile player, you have, if you ever watch Ceballos' game with Xhaka, he's literally doing everything. He's trying to get into the final third with his balls, but then he's got to run away back and make tackles and interceptions and recoveries in the back. And I think he's good at both, but he can't be tasked with both. If he's tasked with both, he's just going to lose both, and he's just not going to play well, as we've seen watching him play with Xhaka. So I have a little bit of hope to see him with Partey, but again, I think the season's not over yet. I do kind of want to see him with Partey, but again, I think when Partey comes back, they're just gonna sit him and they're just gonna play Xhaka because Xhaka is Arteta's golden boy for right now in that midfield with Partey. So, but I definitely want to see that because I think that to me will give us a good kind of gauge on if we should keep Ceballos because Xhaka's not doing him any favors, and like I said, I do think there is something in there for Ceballos that we could use for the long term, and I do think he would be a great squad player for us.
So the thing is, sorry, Mike.
No, you're all right. You two go because I'm completely different to you guys, but I'll explain why.
The thing is, in my opinion, we've got two other midfielders on the books that are better than Ceballos. Yeah, in Guendouzi and Torreira. I'm not saying that these guys. I'm not saying these guys.
I forgot about him.
I'm not saying these guys are gonna come back to. I think I don't know how much if the bridges have been burnt or in Torreira's case, he just doesn't like London, doesn't like England. There's been sort of issues that can't be rectified at the club. But it's just funny that we've got him on loan, and then we've got these two other guys out on loan, who, in my opinion, are better than him. So when we're talking about sort of bringing in a midfielder, I'm like, if Torreira and Guendouzi didn't already play for us, I would look at those two and be like, yeah, I think they could do something. But we already own them, so it's just a weird situation.
Yeah, I agree, but I'm going to disagree with you guys on Ceballos because I actually I think it'd probably be a really good signing. I think for someone with Ceballos, he has got skills in there, like we said. Yes, he doesn't show them every game. So I agree with you in some respects. I agree with both of you in some respects of the things that he does and what he does wrong. But I think as a squad player for 22 million, less 100k a week, I think you'd be stupid not to. Not only that, because he has got the Premier League experience as well. He's going to be playing. Well, when he's finished this loan stint, it's 2 years in the Premier League, so he knows how it works now. He knows how to go with it. I'm not going to turn around here and say he is the absolute answer because I'm not that stupid. He's not going to be the answer. What I was around thinking for when it all came out and about the 22 million, I thought for that price, that's not bad. Considering he could be one backup, and then on the other thing is that we can concentrate on the other areas. Sorry, excuse me. We can concentrate on the other areas to where we need it. Like we need a left back. We possibly need a new striker. Everybody knows if you want a decent-ish striker, they're going to cost a fortune. At least a small fortune. Someone that's going to be on the same sort of caliber as Aubameyang, in today's market, you're probably looking about 70 million easy. So for someone like having Ceballos for 22 million quite cheap, we can probably get that back in the sale of Torreira and Guendouzi. What you were saying, Cory, with Guendouzi, I think the bridges are burnt on him. I think he's not coming back. And with Torreira, again, he's not. I don't think he took to England very well. I don't think he likes the UK. And we've seen this before with South American players. Some take to it, some don't. And this is the issue that we have around it. It's like it's not for everyone, and sometimes you just can't get used to the weather, the culture, whatever it may be. Who knows? But I think it'd be a good signing for that sort of price. I think it's a steal.
So then, Mike, let me ask you something. And I'm not saying I disagree with you and think you're wrong, but so you're saying that you would be fine with having Ceballos, Partey be our starting midfielders next season?
I never said that.
I'm asking. I'm not saying you did. I'm just asking.
You've got to understand as well. Look how much Partey cost us. He cost us 50 million.
Right.
In or around 50 million. Xhaka is not coming to the end of his contract, so we're safe on Xhaka, so we can probably keep him for another season. El Nene is not the answer as much as you probably want him to be. He's not going to be the answer.
He's not.
I know. Who else is it? Sorry.
Willock there, but
Willock, I don't think he's not that type of player to sit in the midfield that far down the midfield. We've also got what's the other guy called?
I don't even know. But who I'm really excited for,
the one who plays left back and right back for us, I've completely forgotten his name. It's awful, isn't it? Who? No.
Left back and right back.
Maitland-Niles. That's it. I think your screen's froze, mate.
Yeah, I've been. I can see that. I might have to leave and come back.
Yeah, go for it, mate.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, like I was saying about Maitland-Niles as well. I just don't think. I think we probably should have let him go already. He's not in favour with Arteta, and we could probably easily get 22 million for him, if not more.
Yeah, it depends. With
everything that's going on.
Really.
So in all fairness, I think it's a safe option. Granted, it is a safe option, but also I think it's a good option. But I'm not here to change your minds. This is just my opinion. So again, this is what I mean. So it's nice to have a disagreement with people, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, I see where you're coming from. Don't get me wrong. It's not like he's a horrible player or anything like that. It's always, he's going to be a player that some people like. And, but for me, if we were to sign him permanently and, take that money that we could use elsewhere and get Ceballos with it, I'll be a bit underwhelmed. I just don't think he adds that much that it's worth doing. I'd rather see the money go elsewhere and us trying something a little bit different. Or, Arteta and Guendouzi sitting down. Arteta and Guendouzi sitting down and hashing out their issues and then bringing him back. Because, he's a different type of player to Ceballos, but I like his style a bit more. I think he's a bit more energetic. He can carry the ball a bit better. He's not as sort of neat as Ceballos, but sometimes, when we talk about a slow pace and a lack of energy and stuff, like Guendouzi is a player that can inject that. Ceballos isn't. So I'd rather see more of that type of player come in than the Ceballos type of player.
No, that's fair enough. If we can get someone better for that sort of price, by all means, I'm all for it. But I think the other issue that sort of swayed me towards signing Ceballos is in a couple of years' time when we're thinking, right, okay, we've got, Arsenal's got enough money to spend on a really good midfielder or a midfielder's come up that we all want to see at Arsenal. The options there, we can buy him, then go for it, But with Ceballos, we've also got that resale value on him as well. If we keep him under 100k a week at 22 million, I think we're in for a good thing there because we can probably get the 22 million back in a couple of years when we're ready to do that. So I think that's the other thing that sort of swayed me to it as well.
Yeah, I think the only thing that I actually completely kind of changed my tune a little bit. Completely agree with everything you're saying, Mike. The only thing that I have is my eyes. I'm just deadlocked on getting Bissouma. I think he's a talent that we just shouldn't pass up. I think he's someone that'll help us out in the long term. And
have you ever watched Arsenal transfers on deadline day or anything every year? Every January, every summertime, you're thinking, oh yeah, we're going to get this guy, we're going to get that guy, and it fizzles out, like everything else. At Arsenal.
No, yeah,
we end up getting a Chelsea reject. So
yeah, that's true. But like I said, I think Ceballos is I don't say he's the answer. I think it's the right move if we could get Bissouma. If not, then I could see that, and also too. Somebody in our academy, Miguel Aziz, I think he's phenomenal right now. I think next year he'll probably get, the cup games, I guess Europa or Champions League, even if we get in that. I think he's somebody that'll be a great center midfield potentially for Partey too. So I think this Ceballos thing isn't really a bad idea. I really like Bissouma, and on top of that too, I'm a huge Guendouzi fan. I know a lot of people know that. I'm a big Guendouzi guy. But I really think the bridge is burned there. I don't see him getting back into this team, which is sad for me to say. But and then again with Torreira, I completely agree with you. I don't think he likes England. I think it's a little too physical for him. I think he can handle it to an extent, but I just think he just doesn't like it here. And with all the rumors about how Mr. Ozil teasing him in training and like he was getting bullied and stuff. I don't know how true that is, but if that's
first time I've heard it. Oh, mate.
But
first time I've heard the bullying. Like,
oh yeah. Apparently, there's talk that like Torreira got picked on because he was so short and stuff, and Ozil was apparently lead perpetrator. Meanwhile, Ozil's tiny as shit too, so I don't really get that.
If you can't let Ozil bully you.
No, I know.
You know what I mean? How soft you have to. It doesn't matter how short you are. You know, you can't let Ozil bully you. I don't know how much I believe that.
Yeah,
but,
I don't either, but I've heard it from multiple people, so I was like, oh, maybe.
Yeah,
But regardless, I think he doesn't like England even just for like the weather and stuff, regardless of what's happening in the team. So
this is what I'm saying. You know, for someone who's been playing in Italy, it was at Sampdoria beforehand, so he's on. I think Sampdoria is on the west coast. I think I'm not too sure of Italy. So you've got the Mediterranean weather. It's all nice. It's heat. Beautiful scenery in Italy, and then you come to London, and a lot of the time, it's nice in London. Don't get me wrong, but a lot of the time, it is quite cold when it wants to. When the weather starts dipping, it's freezing. It is a massive cultural shock, and it can be to a lot of South Americans. We've seen it before in other ones. Throughout the Premier League history, some South Americans make it. Like look at Aguero, he made it. Suarez, he made it. But then there's others as well who don't make it. We've had a couple. Is it Baptista? He didn't make it. Danielson, he didn't make it. So it's always a case of it's finding out who can and who won't. So that's the issue with it. Some do, some don't with South Americans. Sometimes I think it's just a massive shock to the system.
If that's the case, that's cool. If I find out it's Arteta again, that has alienated him, I will go on another rant about this man. Because even with Guendouzi, I'm like, are we getting enough from Arteta to justify letting go of a young player with that much potential?
A potential asset. I get what you're saying.
Do you see what I mean? Like, it's already bad enough with Martinelli, that Martinelli's hardly getting any playing time. Even against Benfica, they brought him on really late. So, he had no chance to do anything, when we needed a player that can sort of get in behind their defense because Benfica are playing such a high line, right? But he made the substitution quite late. So even then, I'm sort of like, this manager is quite short-sighted. His substitutions are renowned for being atrocious. Willian always comes on. He doesn't make substitutions that change the course of the game, And then we've got Martinelli there that's not getting any minutes, so he's not going to improve if he doesn't play.
I said this yesterday on the Thursday show about Martinelli. I'm sick of seeing this kid not playing, but I think that's another story, probably another podcast as well.
Imagine, and I was talking to my mate, and he's like, it doesn't seem like Arteta rates him because when Arteta first came in, he didn't play him then either, So he doesn't seem to rate anything because I think we're going to lose him, which is a shame. And I'm like, if we lose Martinelli again, one of the young players that have been touted as becoming, as a major talent, and we lose it because of Arteta, and we lose Guendouzi, and then I find out that Torreira's gone because of this manager as well, and all for what? So that we can finish 10th in the league, that will really.
It's not going to stand well, is it? It's not.
Because Arteta's not showing us nothing to say that. All right, let's stick with him and let's get rid of all these players because he's worth it. He's not showing that, so. I really hope that's not the case with Torreira. And I really hope with Martinelli, it's just because maybe his fitness and his injury is not 100%. And that's why he's not playing. It's not just because Arteta don't rate him because...
I don't
You'll
think
know
Martinelli,
as well as I do. I don't think
Martinelli's doing with the tactics. I don't think Martinelli's doing good with the tactics at all. I think, he got, was it Man U where he was hooked off at halftime? For Willian, which I'm not gonna defend that. I won't defend that. But I do think Martinelli's still raw in the tactics and what Arteta wants. And what doesn't help his case is Pepe's playing well, Saka's playing well. You have the whole ESR Odegaard situation going on. I mean, there's really no room for him. And I know a lot of people are calling for him to play against Benfica, but. And we've seen this is what we see from Arteta. He has the terrible subs, but he sticks with his 11. Once he finds the 11, he plays it till it breaks. That's just what he does. So you're probably gonna see the same lineup against Man City. I would probably make.
I think we'll see a couple of changes.
But I think he's gonna try to go as close as he can to that 11. Obviously, I think Tierney's probably gonna come in. But besides that, I think he's gonna try to stick to the 11 as best as he can.
I don't know because Pepe had a few good games in a row. then he got dropped.
Hmm.
You know,
I think it's the whole
but we didn't complain because when he got dropped, Aubameyang got a hat trick and everything. So it kind of like we just sort of ignored all of that, yeah. And now ESR is now got that position when Pepe didn't really do anything to lose it, And this has been a sort of growing trend with him as well. When a player starts to get some momentum, what happens? That's the player that gets dropped. The players that are out of form, they just get game after game. It's weird, So I don't know in terms of the next game and whatnot. I'm sure against Man City, which we're going to get onto. We'll
get into it now in a minute. Yeah, so carry on and then we'll get straight into it.
Yeah, against Man City, he's going to probably do a little pep thing and try and overthink it. And we'll switch to three central defenders and wing backs and whatnot. I'm sure we're going to do that, and we're going to get smashed anyway. It's not going to work. But
as long as it's not above 3 goals, I'll be happy.
Man City have scored more than 3 in their last 4 games.
Something like that, I believe.
Yeah,
I can double check.
There's three or more in the last 4 games, so I don't see why that's going to change against us. But I think he'll change the team up. I really do.
Yeah, their last 4 games, they've scored 3 to 4 goals. So against Everton, the 1-3-1, Tottenham, the 1-3-0, Swansea in the FA Cup, the 1-3-1, and then they beat Liverpool 4-1.
Yeah.
So, they are a bit on fire at the minute.
Yeah. And what's that? 15 wins in a row? They're unbeaten in 17.
Home games, isn't it? Yeah. Or is it? No, league games, isn't it? Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, they haven't lost since, what was it, November of last year? And that was
they broke their own record, basically, haven't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, they broke the record of what they held anyway. But to get into it, team news is out at the minute. So we got lucky considering it is a Sunday match and we've managed to get some team news. Obviously, we're going to be without Thomas Partey. Kieran Tierney looks to be back, whether he starts or not. He probably will be in. And Manchester City are without 2 players, and it looks like Gundogan and Ake.
Oh, good.
So they're going to assess Gundogan, so he could be available yet. I don't know. He's being assessed before, and Aguero is back. So he loves scoring against us anyway. So there's always a good sign. But so they've pretty much got a full squad.
Yeah, it's
is De Bruyne back? I didn't think he were back yet.
I think he was on the bench last match, wasn't he?
He came in on the 80th minute in their last game against Everton. They brought him on.
Why does he have to be ready for the Arsenal game?
That's just how it always is.
It don't matter. If it's Gundogan, is just absolutely killing it.
He's like the best player right now. He's probably one of the best players, if not the best player in the Premier League. He's scoring at will.
To me, as you guys know, I don't class many people as world class, but he is definitely getting to that point where he's a world class player for me in De Bruyne. Because just the way he is, his passing, his tackling, his professionalism, that's what I'd sort of go off. And he is borderline world class for me. So
Kevin De Bruyne,
yeah.
I mean, he's been world class for a while. I know when we talk about the difference, he's a player that doesn't need to be coached.
No.
Yeah, you can you don't need to tell him nothing. Yeah, no. He could be having a shit. Yeah, whilst the rest of the team is getting their team talk, right, and get tactics. He'll come back in just as they're about to go hit the tunnel, right, and he'll still smash it. And he'll still know exactly.
He's got an eidetic memory, and he'll just look at the ball and go, "Right, I'm on it."
Yeah, exactly. He understands football. He is in tune with football. He's a born footballer. He knows what to do. He knows where to move, where to be, who should be making runs, how to find someone. It's like his brain is, he I'm sure he'll go on to become a coach or a manager when he hangs out because his intelligence, his football intelligence, is the highest
through the roof.
Yeah, exactly. So when you're talking about world class, that's what you're talking about for a midfielder.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So obviously, if he's playing, then it's a problem. If Gundogan plays and he doesn't, it's a problem. If Foden plays, it's a problem. If Bernardo Silva plays, it's a problem. everybody, like their defense, Laporta, he can't even get into the team consistently these days. Diaz has come in, and Diaz is looking like a Van Dijk. You know, that similar sort of impact that he
Who would
had.
have thought as well? John Stone's been playing well
John
recently.
Stones, you know what?
And we were linked with him not so long ago. We were linked with John Stones. And everybody I know, or everybody who I talk to as Arsenal fans, I'm not sure about you two yourselves, but pretty much everyone I talked to was like, no, I don't want him as a has-been, this, that, and the other. He's been crap ever since. And I said, well, think about it. He's probably not getting the game time as much at Man City, and he wants to play. You know, he was getting picked for England sometimes as well when he wasn't playing. So he does know football, and he is a good defender. And I thought it could be his resurrection if he come to Arsenal. Loads of people was like, nah, he's shit, rowdy. Look at him now.
Yeah. Sometimes it takes a while. I know, like, some players have come to Arsenal, and we sort of want to write them off as soon as they like go through a bit of bad form or whatnot. There's people writing off Aubameyang, saying, "Oh, you know, that he's done," you know. And I was like, calm down. You know what I mean? This is the first bit of bad form he's had in his career. So, like, just sort of chill on that one. And with John Stones, he's been at City for a while, and he has not looked great. But sometimes there's just some sort of element that's needed to things just click for that.
He started playing well ever since Arteta left.
You know what?
Just a thought.
Yeah, look, Diaz has come in, and you know they've formed a great partnership. You know, John Stones, he's bubbling with confidence. You know, he's up there, sort of in the box. You know, getting on the end of headers and stuff. You know, trying to score goals as well. Like, that's how confident he is at the moment.
And I would have thought he'd be keeping Laporte out of the team as well.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a really good defender.
Rodri's looked really good this year as well. So he obviously adds that bit. He's a big guy, and he adds that bit of steel to the midfield.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's my mate Ashley, he's on a Play On podcast, and me and him was having a conversation. He was like, this is when everybody like was sort of saying John Stones is shit, and he was like, no, I think he's class. I would love it if Arsenal signed him.
We probably could have got him really cheap as well.
Yeah, so to see him now and everything, I was like, well, I said, Ash, you're right. You know what I mean? He's absolutely killing it. So, you know, they haven't conceded more than one goal in a match for a while.
No, I think what I've just looked at is usually they just concede the one, they don't really concede.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So they haven't conceded more than one goal for a while, and they kept a load of clean sheets recently as well. Yeah, they're a problem. I have to say, I think Arsenal for Man City are a banker.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with you. We did have some comments there, which I'm going to just come to first before we go to you, Ryan. I did have it up for a while, but now I've lost it. DWTT put in, so will your City commentary be as follows? Well, we play on Thursday versus Benfica. Depending on what the scoreline is, mate. Oh, well, we got Benfica. Yeah, it's 4-0. Yeah. Never mind.
I know what it means, though. I think a lot of people, like me included, have sort of written this match off already.
I have as well, to be fair, mate.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a tough ask. And if we do manage to beat them, it's going to take some small miracle to do so. So, yeah, and Sentiment has put in Diaz is the element because we was talking about the defenders. I agree. Diaz has been the element in their team at the minute. And pretty much what Cory was saying there. There's also things as well on here. DWTT again. Martinelli and Odegaard should get some game time. Just get some time on the field together. Yeah, you're probably right.
It's not going to happen.
This is what it's going to come to. This is what's going to come to me now. And I'm just going to talk to you, Ryan, about this first. Is because we played ESR, Saka, players that have been playing quite a lot recently. Do we rest them for this game, knowing that it is pretty much a write-off, and just think, play these, like bring Pepe on, put Martinelli in, put Odegaard in the middle, rest Saka, and rest ESR, just to say, like, go for it. What you got to lose, just go for it. We know, we're the underdogs in this anyway. No one's expecting us to come out on top for this one. The chances are the betting odds are going to be at least 1,000 to 1 to win the game. I don't know. I'm just guessing. So do we just think, like, well, fuck it, just go for it. Send whoever you want out and just go for it.
So it's funny. I actually don't think this game's a write-off. I'm not writing this game off. I think this game is going to be.
Can I just stop you there quick? Corey, go.
Ryan, don't piss me off, man. We were supposed to be getting along this episode, all right? Go on. Tell me how you think, we could get a result against Man City. What tools do we have at our disposal that can get a result against Man City? Go on.
So you didn't let me finish. I don't think this game's right off in the fact that I think this game is going to be our measuring stick. We have something, I kind of coined it, the pinwheel of death, in that we have the front four. They're constantly interchanging. Aubameyang's moving to the left. You have Saka coming in the middle. Odegaard kind of drifting to the right. ESR is kind of drifting. Like everyone's moving around. Everyone's got pieces moving around. And I think it did really well against Leeds. I think it did well against Benfica. But again, I just think these players just weren't up for it. And Aubameyang just decided he didn't want to score. But I mean, I just like the movement, and I think that's something that we haven't seen from this team in quite some time, is our movement off the ball. And Odegaard and ESR are probably the two best. They're definitely the best on our team. I think they're up there with the best in the Premier League. Just their movement off the ball is just so smart, and we talk about KDB's football IQ and how it's just so good. I think ESR is up there with him. I think ESR is one of the smartest football players in the world. Now, with saying that, again, I said measuring stick. Now, it doesn't mean I think we're going to win. It doesn't mean I think, we're going to really put it on Man City. That's not what I'm saying. I think that we need to see where we're at. And I think this is probably one of the better chances that we could kind of see how our formation and how our tactics are working, because it doesn't get any better than Man City. Man City are probably the best team in the Premier League. They're probably going to win the Premier League. Cool. I think this is where we kind of see where we're at with people. Now, with the fact that we played Benfica on Thursday, I don't necessarily think we should start with the same starting 11 that we did yesterday. So I do think somebody like a Pepe needs to start here, because I think Pepe, what he brings to the team is chaos. He's very unpredictable. Even he doesn't know what he's going to do. I think he's someone that we could put into this team, and with his run of form that he's playing well, I think if he does the job that Mikel wants him to do, I think he could definitely. I wouldn't be shocked if he scores a goal here or there, because yeah, that's true. Again, I'm not saying we're gonna win, and you guys need to, I'm not, and we'll get to my prediction later, but. I think it's a game that we need to not necessarily watch for the result. We watch for the performance of Arsenal, and we watch to see how these tactics. And like you said last week, I don't see what Arteta's doing. I don't get it. He's not showing me anything. He's not showing tactics. I don't know what he's doing. Well, I think this is the game where you'll see maybe, is it really working? Is this, quote unquote pinwheel of death actually a thing that we could use going forward? Or no, we're shit, and Man City's just gonna put us at 7-0. I don't know. I don't think it's gonna. I don't think that's gonna happen. But I think I think there's a few pieces that I think we could change and move around a little bit. But I think for the most part, in my opinion, I think the starting 11 we had with Leeds and Benfica should pretty much go out and play Sunday against Man City.
So the only way, I hear what you're saying, Ryan, but I don't think this is the match to sort of see where we're at. I think the Benfica match was a good sort of measuring stick to see where we're at. We're playing against a team in Europe who's decent. They're a decent team. They're good in their own league.
You think Benfica could hang in the Premier League? I don't think so.
My point is, if we were any good, that's a team that we could show it against. Because they're decent. They're decent. If we are a good team and we have a realistic chance of a trophy this year, then against Benfica, a team that we like you said, they probably couldn't hang in the Premier League, and we're right in the middle of the Premier League. Yet we still went in there as favourites to win. So it's like, against a team like that, that's where players show up, and that's where we see Arteta's tactics, and we see what is it that we're going to be seeing going forward if we're actually going to achieve anything this season. Against Man City, you're just pegged in to your own half, surviving. If you've got really great counter-attack tactics and players that can pull it off, then Man City is a good team to sort of see if that can work. But we don't. I don't think there's any player or anyone that's really going to be able to shine against them. Maybe the odd counter-attack when they feel a bit tired and they take their foot off the gas. But the only saving grace for me is that they have a Champions League game in the week. And Champions League they've pretty much won the league already, they're cruising with that. Champions League is where it's at. The Champions League is the Man City owners. They're like, where is that trophy, Pep? You've been here a while now, and we haven't even got to a final. Where's it at? So I can imagine this year is like he's got a lot of pressure on him in that competition. So he could heavily rotate because Pep does love to rotate. He could heavily rotate and disrupt their rhythm. And that's when it can be a somewhat competitive game. But if he doesn't, and it's a usual 11 that he picks, then I don't see that we can make any impact in this game whatsoever.
No,
fair.
That is quite fair. I'm just looking at their fixture list. They've got Gladbach on Wednesday, so hopefully we could see a heavy rotate. Ooh, I don't know. It's still City to me. Even their second string players are. Some of them are really good.
Yeah.
And they have got some really, really good players in there. So that's the issue for me. We're looking at, like, say, for instance, Gundogan could be out, but they've got, like we said earlier, they've got Phil Foden and Kevin De Bruyne. If Raheem Sterling's out, they've got Ferran Torres. I just don't know about this one.
They would have to.
I'm really struggling with it.
Goalkeeper. They'd have to put in Mendy. Maybe a couple players from the academy. It would have to be a heavy rotation to sort of level things up a bit. But they're so far ahead of us at the moment. So far ahead. It's crazy.
To say this is a measuring stick, I think you're being a bit far. I think that's not a measuring stick we need to be looking at.
So the reason why I say that, and it was going to lead me into what I was saying before, where I kind of disagree with Cory, where it's saying Benfica is a measuring stick. I don't think so, because a problem I have, which I guess kind of ruins the argument a little bit, but we play to our competition. And to me, I don't want to use Benfica as a measuring stick because we're going to play to their level. They're not good. We're not, and even Pep said in an interview today, he says, what I've seen in the last few months, every game Arsenal play, they are better than their opponents. And I agree with that. Every game we play, for the most part, we're better than the opponents. It's just a matter of, do we have that killer instinct? Do we really care about the game? Do we really want to put it on our opponent? And if we're playing a weaker opponent, we don't do that. And we shoot ourselves in the foot.
Well, this is it, you see. To take the Leeds game aside, and I, like when we was talking earlier, when you two was talking earlier, I was just looking at, we don't score a lot of goals. So the last time we scored more than 2 goals was against Newcastle in January. And then it was West Brom before that. There isn't many to say that we score a lot of goals, and at the minute we just don't seem to be scoring. We don't have that killer instinct, like you were saying. We're not doing that,
right?
And I get what Cory was saying with the measuring stick with Benfica. We should have absolutely, in all fairness, I agree with him. We had them all over the pitch. We should have scored more than 1 goal, and we didn't. So I sort of get what you're saying with the Benfica.
Yeah,
but when it comes to Man City, you've got to remember as well with Benfica, they have got a couple of ex-Premiership players in their defence in Otamendi and Vertonghen. So they're not bad defensively. They were really good defenders.
Yeah, keyword were. They were. And you know what?
Yeah,
no, I mean, were.
Well, they're not losing like
that,
do they? They've only been out of the Premier League for like less than a season. So they're not going to lose they're not going to lose it straight away. But I just thought, when you look at Benfica and you look at Man City, you're talking levels above.
Oh, multiple. Yeah, no. Like I said, I think the problem here is just Arsenal play to their opponents. They 9 times out of 10, they are better than their opponents, just playing possession, moving the ball around the field. But when it comes down to, hard facts, hard numbers, scoring goals, we just we're playing Benfica. Yeah, they couldn't hang in the Premier League. What do we care? Like they have no incentive to beat Benfica because they're so I guess you could say low in the totem pole. So I'm hoping with this Man City game they'll be like, oh, well, Man City are one of the best teams in the league. Kind of like when we played Man City last year in the FA Cup. Everyone counted us out. No one thought we were going to win. And everyone's like, oh yeah, we're out of the FA Cup. Whatever, it is what it is. Got to focus on getting into the Champions League, and we beat them. So, I mean, again, I'm not saying we're going to go to Man City and put it on them. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying
they're coming to us, right?
Yeah, exactly. I'm just saying that I think that we can hang with them. And by hang with them, yeah, not get run off the field.
You know what? You're coming. You're back on next week, aren't you?
If you want me, I can.
Yes, you are, because we're going to hold you to this.
Again,
we're going to make you answer for this, mate. And I'll tell you what, I'll eat my words if you're right and we beat Man City on Sunday.
Who said I said we're beating Man City?
He didn't say beat.
I did not say that.
I'll eat my words. If we can get more than 3 shots on target, yeah. say 6 off target, yeah. And more than 35% possession, yeah, I'll eat my words. It doesn't even matter what the score is after that.
That's a low bar. I like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
So that's as realistic as I can sort of see that we can sort of hang with them. But apart from that, it's I'm hoping it's just not a massacre. That's my aspirations for this match. We don't worry about this match. Yeah, we are going to be sort of thinking about Benfica. That's the important game. This is a write-off. This is a banker for Man City. And like I said, unless they want to write it off, but I doubt it because they're fighting for 2 competitions.
Well, the thing is, they're 10 points above Liverpool in the league.
So they can afford.
So they're going to want in the points anyway, just to further the.
It's an easy game for them. Let's be real.
Arsenal
in matches like this are easy games. Against a sort of mid-table team and whatnot, then yeah, we compete and it's not that easy. But against a Manchester City, it's a walk in the park.
You see, Gary's put up a comment, and I'm actually with this one. Ryan gets to do the show from the kitchen if Arsenal get 3 points. As long as he keeps in his pants, I'm with him. I'm with you there.
I've told you to that.
Humbo Gumball just said by the sink.
I think the thing that I'm really mad because I do believe in everything I'm saying. But the reason why it's like I don't totally am in love with my point is because of the Benfica game. Like we should have beat them by a couple goals to where
Sorry, I'm putting up comments.
You've been talking to my fiance, Gary. What you doing, boy?
Just for the listeners, because not everyone views. Just for the listeners, scouting DWTT Gary has put scouting report says Ryan has range.
I yell Kobe every time. Anyways, yes.
God, no, you don't.
No, I don't. I don't. But no, the thing that really bothers me, about me saying, we shouldn't write this game off, and I don't think we should write this game off. But shots fired. But yeah, it's just this Benfica game is so important that I almost want to be with you guys and be like, you know what, we should just write it off because. Looking back, had we beaten Benfica by a couple goals, which we should have done, then I was like, why are you writing this game off? No, we should. But again, that's why I'm kind of going.
It's being realistic, Ryan.
Yeah, no, but I just think with certain play, I guess more what I'm trying to say is as a team, Man City are levels above us. But I think we have a lot of individual talent, like an Odegaard, who I really want to see him against Man City. I think he's a really special talent, and I think he's somebody we need to hold on to. I'm curious to see what he can do. I'm curious to see what ESR can do. He's kind of revitalized his team, and Pepe in form. I think again, I'm not saying they're going to carry us to 3 points. I don't agree. That's not what I'm saying. But I think they could be players that could, keep us in the game, can make it, not a 10-0 game. And I think defensively, we've been a lot better than in past seasons. And again, I'm not saying we're going to have a clean sheet and all that, but I think defensively we've been doing a really good job. Granted, like we're not going to have Partey, which is going to be real rough, and I'm probably going to eat my words in saying that. But I don't know. I just think that the game is going to be a lot closer than you guys think.
Right. Well, I'm just going to do a little bit of insight here for you. Arsenal have lost their last 7 games against Man City in the league. 7 league games against Man City. The Gunners have only ever lost more consecutively against Leeds, and that was between 1973 and 1976.
Okay.
Arsenal have failed to score in their last 3 games, home league games against City, losing each time. The Gunners have never failed to find the net in 4 consecutive home league games against an opponent in their history. There's a record to be broken.
Yeah, right. Hey, and then there's a stat, and Tanner yelled at me because I was on his show talking about it. Pep's his 2 last unbeaten runs, I think, were with Bayern Munich. I think they were like 15 games each. Guess what team broke that? Us. And now we're going to play them. Just saying, the records are there for us.
How did Bayern Munich do in the Champions League that year?
Yeah, 10-2, I know. They win? I don't know. Every time we say Bayern Munich on an Arsenal podcast, I just say 10-2. It's just like a knee-jerk reaction.
Basically, they knocked us out of the league. Basically, knocked us out of the competition, mate, which they do most of the time. So
all the time.
Yeah. So when you're comparing something like that, it just means nothing.
Yeah, no, it's fair.
Especially when you get knocked out of the competition.
Because when Ryan said that we sort of played to the level of our opposition, that it gets to a point where sort of like, okay, when that position is really good, we don't play to their level.
Yeah, no, I agree.
There's a ceiling there. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I wish that, you know what? It pains me, to be an Arsenal fan and to be this pessimistic going into a match that had we still been going to matches, we would have to. How much does the tickets be for this game? 60 quid. Grade A game, right? So we're paying the maximum for this, and typically, beforehand, it'll be because it's competitive. Like that'll be so there'll be our rivals, and we're looking forward to sort of how these players match up against their players and whatnot. So to see like us like this, even though I don't think we're that bad on paper, it's really like disheartening. I mean, we should be able to say like when we brought in players like Pepe and Aubameyang and and seeing guys like Saka and stuff, we should be excited to see them against Man City, to see like, hey, let's see what they can do. Let's see like let's see who can come of age in a match like this. Like what we saw like from like Mbappe. I mean, Mbappe came of age ages ago, but you bag a hat trick against Barcelona, at their ground. It's like, hey, he's the dog's bollocks, and we've got some young players that are looking like they're ascending. And yeah, I would like to agree with Ryan to say like I can't wait to see a Saka or Odegaard or ESR against a Man City and really make a name for themselves. But I just can't see it.
It's still maybe too early for him.
Not with this manager anyway.
Yeah, it's still slightly too early for him, I think, to say like
it's never going to
go against someone like Man City.
Arteta just does not have the talent. He doesn't. I don't see the talent. Yeah, that could be built on for him to ever get a result against Man City. There's nothing there. There's nothing there. There's no glimmer of anything. I posed the question to you before. What player? And I'm not counting the young players. They're just improving just because of their age.
Yeah.
What player has improved under this manager?
I'd say Pepe. I think Pepe's playing really well.
No. In his career.
I mean,
in their career, what player has improved under this manager? He doesn't have nothing. He hasn't.
You can make an argument. Tierney. I can make the argument. Tierney is.
I'm sure
he was already a good player.
Really good.
He's good, yeah, in the Scottish Premier League.
Yeah, but
what is that?
He was good anyway.
Yeah, he was already good. Who has improved? Who has been like, you know what? Under Arteta, this guy has really flourished.
So hold on. So if you're not counting young people, and we're not counting,
they just naturally get better regardless because they're young.
just because that doesn't. No, people's getting. I don't.
Yeah,
I don't agree with that.
I do. I reckon any manager, Saka is Saka, ESR is ESR. Like you said, ESR is a really intelligent baller. Yeah, Saka is he's just talented. He's just got talent oozing out of him. This is not because of our manager.
I don't know how much you guys pay attention to American soccer or whatever, but we had a player. I think he was 14, 13. I don't even know. Freddie Adu. So he was a wonder kid at 14. Everyone was like, "Oh my God, he's the next big thing. Give me the next Messi." I think he's played for like 12 teams. I think he's like in his third. I think he's 30, 31. I don't even know, but he off a cliff. So I don't necessarily agree with your argument because if you're saying someone's good, they're only gonna get better. That I don't know. I don't buy it.
I mentioned Mbappe. Yeah, Mbappe is not good because he played for Jardim, and then he played for Tuchel, and then he's playing for Pochettino. Mbappe is shit hot, whatever the weather. Doesn't matter the manager. His ascendancy, it just keeps going up, and no manager gets the credit for that. You just look at him as an individual and be like, he's just special, yeah. And that's what I see with these young players. I'm not crediting Arteta with them improving because that it's the same situation that it was with Mbappe. They're just good.
Well, to make a really good point in what Cory's saying, if you look at someone like likes of Ronaldo, look how many managers he has been under in his career, and he's always gone up. You know, he's never.
I agree.
He's never dipped.
Most players, when they start off good young, they get better. I get that, but it's not 100% the case every single time.
I know.
That's my point I'm trying to make.
It's like these guys. We can agree. ESR and Saka they're just talented. They're special talents. Yeah. So I will not give a manager any credit for their improvement. Just like we was talking about with Ronaldo and Mbappe. So aside from them, you know, with these other players are not special talents that we've got in the team. They're good. Some of them are good players and have done really well elsewhere or under managers. What player has improved under Arteta?
So
Xhaka has improved under this manager.
Xhaka did this and then this and then this and then this and then that's not improvement.
But he's kept it going up at the minute. So you know, to make that argument
for a few games, no.
But the thing
when he was playing back in Germany, was a much better player than he was for Arsenal.
Yeah, but the German league's a different league. But
my point is, he was good then. It's not like he was. It's not like this is the best he's ever been.
But to be fair, I don't even care. I get your question. I get the point you're trying to make. I don't care. These young guys, they're playing good now. They're doing a job now. That's all I care about. I don't care that are they improving? Oh, they improved with Emery, not under Arteta. I don't care. They're playing well. We're fair, for the most part. We have players that are playing well. To me, improvement means nothing.
My point was because you guys were like, he's not there yet, and my point was he's never going to get there because he has not shown anything to suggest that he could become.
So I'll tell you that. So young players.
I went on about Arteta. I was on about the kid, ESR and Saka when we was talking about Man City and to step up and show your worth or show your value and whatever else. I was saying about them two. I don't think that they're yet to go to someone like City and go, this is my turf, I'm going for it. I just don't think they're on that point yet, them two players. I wasn't on about Arteta.
My whole rant was pointless then. Yeah. But my point still stands, even though...
It stands. The rant was pointless, the point stands, yeah.
The only thing I will say, and I'm dropping this because I this argument I think is not saying you're stupid or the point. I just think this argument's stupid, is... and I don't get how, like, if young players can get exponentially better and always get better, why can't managers do that? Like, you know what I'm saying?
You have to see something in the first place.
I guess you don't see anything because I see something. So I guess that's just where we differ. I do see something. I don't know.
That's fair enough. And on that point, we'll go into the scores. Ryan, I'll come to you first, mate. What do you think what's your predictions, mate?
So 10. No. So obviously with everything being said, I personally, before I get my score, I think we need to play Pepe here. I think we need to probably
well, you've said that, just get on with
rest ESR, bring ESR later on. Anyways, and play holding. I'm gonna say it's gonna be 2-1 to Man City. We lose.
Wow.
Yeah, like I said, I think we're gonna win. I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
we're gonna give them a tougher game than people think. I just think that we have pieces that are, we have likes of Pepe. We have I do think Odegaard's there now. We have Pepe, we have Odegaard, and I don't think Pepe's gonna play. It's probably gonna be ESR. But even so, fine, ESR. I think Saka can hang with Man City. Tierney's coming back into the lineup. I think Gabriel's a good defender. He's a little rash. I'm a little worried if he's gonna concede a penalty or get a card, but I like him. Please, no David Luiz. We need to play holding. End of. And I really want to see Cedric play on the right. He's been the best for us, but he's on the right. We need to sit Bellerin. So, yeah. But with that all being said, Man City are levels above us. They're the best team in the Premier League. I don't expect to beat them. I would love a draw. Yes, Gary, I'd love a draw. I
Just
don't
about
think that's
to
going to
say,
happen.
because Ryan won't shut up, I was going to say Gary DWTT has put in a 1-1 draw. I hope. Sentiment is score prediction, keep the score down, City. So that's fair enough. Cory, what's your score prediction, mate?
If they play a semi-good team, fuck it, nah, just 3-0. 3-0.
that was actually going to be mine as well, mate. 3-0 loss. I hate saying it, but sometimes you just got to be trying and be a little bit logical on this.
People that listen, I wanted to know that because some people are like they talk and then they're like, when it comes to the score predictions, they're like, 2-1 to Arsenal. Even though there's all these problems with the team and the club, and then they're like 2-1 Arsenal. It's like I can't take you serious, I want to be consistent, with what I'm saying. And obviously I started off saying that we have no chance. So no chance is pretty much a 3-0 loss.
Ryan, do you want to hand Cory his knife back, mate?
Yeah, 3-0. I hope
about twisting it as well.
But I would like, but if I'm being optimistic, I would like a 3-1. I would like us to sort of get a goal, and I would like there to be some spells where we get forward, and the young players do get to express themselves, and and put something together and get some confidence going into the Benfica game. Because this just getting a goal against the City side can kind of give you a lift. So
yeah, definitely. Yeah,
I hope that we can get a goal, but yeah.
I think it's gonna be a tale of two stories. I think you're gonna see the game. You're gonna be like, okay, like I get it. Man City are better than us. Like they're gonna show you why. Okay, like Cory's right. Like they're a lot better than us. Like I get this, but I do think there's gonna be bits in that game where we are a little threatening. We do some things, and I think we'll nick a goal. I really do. I think to you, Cory, I think you'll look at the game. You'll be like, okay, like I kind of see something. Like yeah, we're not there yet. We're not that good. We're not going to win this game. City are way better than we are, but like we'll threaten a little. We'll tickle them. We'll tickle the beast. We won't slay or do anything crazy, but we'll make our presence a little bit.
I hope so. And then and then I might agree with you. Like if you have, I can be like, I can see something that we can build on with this team and with this manager. But if not, if we're just pegged into our half like for the whole game and whatnot, then we ain't no better than whoever they played last.
Yeah.
Everton got a goal, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Charleston scored. Yeah.
But someone's going to be eating some humble pie next week anyway, let's face it.
I love humble pie. Look, if I ever predict a loss and I'm wrong, love it. Against Leeds, I said I predicted a loss or a draw, and we won 4-2. I love that. Do you know what I mean?
I ate that pie to that game. Oh, I was smiling. I was smiling.
Yeah.
More, baby.
I was happy, but I didn't expect an Aubameyang hat trick. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but
did anyone?
Yeah. So I'm happy to be wrong on those occasions. Definitely. Benfica was pretty much right.
Well, I said 1-0. So, well, in my prediction league that you're in as well, I think Cory as well. I put down I think 1-0. So Arsenal would win 1-0, but I won't far off.
Yeah, but they win 1-0, we win 1-0 is
No, it's 1-0 to Arsenal. I thought we would have won that one, but obviously not. But yes, again, thanks guys. Thanks for joining me again. It's always great to have you two in the show. It's brilliant. I love it when you go at it as well. And I can't wait for next week when someone's going to be probably really, really quiet.
To be fair, we both predicted losses.
You're
We
right.
both predicted losses.
You're right. Don't know how to be quiet. That's impossible.
That's very true. It's very true.
That is very true. And yes, again, we couldn't have Mike on the show because he did have some personal things to get on with today. He is going to join us next week. So we're going to have someone who is a proper Benfica fan coming to join us on the show, which is going to, again, it's nice. It's nice to have a bit of difference in the show. Not like there's any difference between you two. So, yeah, thank you for everyone joining in the chat. If you haven't already, if you're watching on YouTube, please like. And if you haven't already, subscribe. We do have a lot of shows on Arse Brothers. There seems to be there's 3 a week going at the minute, and sometimes you might even get a 4th. So who knows? It depends what everyone's doing. So we have the OG show on a Monday, we have the Thursday night live, and then we have our show, which is probably the best of the bunch. I would say, wouldn't you, Cory? We are the best of the bunch, mate.
I agree.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Mac and
I'm not saying that
Toby.
they're all good, yeah, but you know,
We're the best of the bunch.
That's what we are. That's what we are. That's what we do.
This is it. So, right, we'll see you next week. You are joining us, Ryan, because you're going to have some of that humble pie, mate.
Again, I predicted a loss. I don't think you guys realize that. I don't think we're going to win.
We can hang with them.
We can hang with them, yeah.
We're going to show signs of something. I don't know what that is yet. We're going to show signs of something. Please, Arteta, pick a smart 11. Think, Arteta, think. Yes, that's what it should.
Yeah, think. Mate, you're seriously going to get some shit next week. I can't wait because I'll dish it out. So yeah, join us next week. We're probably at the same time at 9 p.m. because we have to cater to the Americans. So yeah, see you guys later. Thanks for joining.